Welcome back to Morning Manna. This is day 6 of the series on biblical money principles, and this is the final one. Give generously. You know, we saved generosity for last because, truth be told, it's the money principle we're most excited about.
Yes, in Acts chapter 20, Paul shares a quote from Jesus. It is more blessed to give than to receive. It is so true. There's such joy in giving. Have you experienced that blessing?
You know, giving generously is one of the most impactful money principles in the Bible. Learning to give your time or money has a huge impact on you and others. You know, I learned this lesson as a child as well, back on that same tobacco farm. Every year, we'd have subsistence crops, things that just made for us to eat. But you have to rotate them every now and then. So we would produce a lot in the one field of beans or corn or strawberries or whatever it was in that season. And we would freeze what we could, then we were going to save for us, can some maybe, and then we would give the rest away. And what we would do is all of the crops that we weren't going to use for ourselves, we put in bushel baskets and sit at the top of our driveway. And then every day, or most days, somebody would come up, take a bushel of things that we had harvested and give us something that they had harvested on their farm, doing the same thing we were doing, just making it until we could survive. And I would always look forward to seeing what new thing we were going to get when somebody came in exchange. But one day, somebody came up that driveway, they took a basket, but I didn't leave one. Now I was very, very curious, but as a little kid, I thought somebody was stealing from us. But my grandfather wasn't even the slightest bit bothered by it. He said, "Boy, that's just the gleanings, just like it says in the Bible." Meaning, we're supposed to give. We're supposed to let people take when they don't have the means to produce themselves. And I said, "Oh, okay." And while I still had a little bit of a problem with it, I kind of was wrestling with it a little bit. I kind of let it go. But then some 2 weeks later, that same car came back up the driveway. And they did have a harvest for us, but it was just coming in late. But they left a bushel basket full of things there. And then they brought a cake to us. Just our way of saying thank you, or their way of saying thank you to us for being so generous with our resources that God had provided us. You know, that cake was really delicious. So I learned my lesson, and I got to eat some cake.
James does like to eat some cake. Now, giving generously is clearly in the Bible as a principle that we should follow. First off, Christians are shown generosity by God Himself when we receive grace as undeserved sinners. It's His nature, and we desire to be like Christ. Therefore, we give.
You know, throughout the New Testament, Christians are encouraged to give generously to God's work and God's people. It's all over the place. And one of the best concentrations of this kind of teaching is found in 2 Corinthians chapters 8 and 9. And here's a little piece of that. For God is the one who provides seed for the farmer and then bread to eat. In the same way, He will provide and increase your resources and then produce a great harvest of generosity in you. Yes, you will be enriched in every way so that you can always be generous. And when we take your gifts to those who need them, they will thank God. So 2 things will result from this ministry of giving. The needs of the believers in Jerusalem will be met, and they will joyfully express their thanks to God. That comes from 2 Corinthians chapter 9, verses 10 through 12.
What an amazing cycle of blessing. God is generous to us so we can be generous to others, so we can continue to be generous. I just love it. You can never outgive God. He wants to bless you and fill your heart with inexpressible joy.
You know, speaking of heart, does your wallet mirror your heart? If a Christian worldview is the foundation of your life, it needs to be the foundation of your finances. If your heart belongs to Jesus, have you asked Him how to handle His money, His way? You know, my wife and I have found time and time again that when we apply these principles and others like them, we find financial peace, freedom, and inexpressible joy.
So true. It's like money takes its proper place as a tool for living in this world. I'd encourage you to evaluate your personal finances today by considering these 5 undeniable money principles found in the Bible.
Are you gaining money honestly, budgeting your money diligently, owing money to nobody, investing wisely, and giving money generously? How many of these money principles have you applied in your life? Which of these money principles in the Bible surprised you most? Which do you still need to work on? You know, I pray you're blessed as you work on these principles and continue to be more Christ-like as you deal with money. God bless you guys.